All right, for this final video, we're going to look at these interaction settings. So we're on a Windows computer. Make sure to open up your settings. You can search for it in your Windows feature. I like to use the search box. Some people already have it pinned down here, but it looks like a gear. You're going to go to on this column over here on the left-hand side. You're going to click accessibility. In the first video, we talked about vision. In the second video, we talked about hearing, and in this one is the interaction preferences. And again, that's dexterity and motor issues that we talked about. So the first one that we're going to select here is called speech. This will do voice typing. If you hold your Windows key and H, or if you select the mic button on the touch keyboard, and it will allow you to dictate anytime you are in a text box. Anytime you're in a text box. It's fun. You need to try it if you haven't. Windows speech recognition, control your device and dictate it with your voice. That's essentially turning your computer into Google, Alexa, Siri type of requests. You can ask it to open a window, to search for something, etc. And then related, there's some speech settings that are worth taking a look at. So making sure that you are in English United States. If you need to set up your microphone for speech recognition, some of those command prompts, which voice you want, if you want to add any voices, etc. We're going to scoop back and to accessibility. Scroll down to interaction, and we're looking at the keyboard next. So sticky keys allows you to use shortcuts that use multiple keys at one time. So instead of having to hold Control and S, you just have one key instead. Filter keys set the sensitivity of the keyboard so it can ignore brief or repeated keystrokes. We see something very similar on our phones with how long we have to hold something. Maybe we feel like our keyboard isn't responsive enough, and maybe we feel like our keyboard is too responsive. So you can set those filters and settings there. Toggle keys will play a sound when you press caps, num, or scroll lock. I used to do data entry in my undergrad days, and I would constantly hit caps lock and then forget that I had caps lock on as I went back and forth. So the sound will play for you, and that is helpful. You can change what the sound sounds like and all these notification preferences. Some people prefer an on-screen keyboard, especially if they have a touch screen. So you can change some of those settings. If you do not have a touch screen, I would not recommend that you turn this on. I take that back. People with a Switch, people who might be using eye tracking and head mice, they'll probably want this on as well. If you are not familiar with this on-screen keyboard, I would turn it on and give it a try so you can understand how your client might have to be using this. Underline access keys and use the print screen button to open screen snipping. I'm actually going to turn that on because that is a helpful feature for me as I build out these tutorials like this. We can see that there's some related settings called typing and language. Let's check out what's in typing. So it'll suggest text suggestions when typing on the physical keyboard, sort of like what your text messaging might do, suggesting the next few things, or your Gmail has been doing this too now, or Teams, Microsoft does that as well, I suppose. Autocorrect misspelled words, highlight misspelled words, things like that. Interesting. Let's scoot back, and we'll scoot back once more, back to accessibility. So now look at the mouse. Interactions, we can use our mouse to have a numeric keypad when we move the mouse pointer. Again, this can be very helpful to some clients. You can turn that on, and then you can interact with some of these settings as well. Related settings, changing the mouse pointer like we did in the Vision, and changing the mouse speed, primary button, scrolling, etc. The last one for us to look at right now is eye control. Eye control uses eye trackers, and you have to connect this in order to set it up. Maybe your organization has one for you to try this out with. Otherwise, I would recommend watching a video of somebody using this so you, again, can understand what's happening here, how your client has to use it, how that might affect how they interact with the technology. But eye control is using an eye tracker to change things on your screen. You can also change your eye tracker privacy settings. And you need to read this privacy statement from Microsoft when connecting something like an eye tracker. So that's it for our interactions. We will see you in the next video.